So here's the game politicians play. Ask them about crime, and they'll throw you a number that sounds comforting. In the US, less than 1% of adults are in prison at any given time, which, if you take at face value, makes America look squeaky clean, like crime is just this fringe issue, barely touching the population. But here's the problem. That number only counts the people who got caught and locked up. If you zoom out, the story changes fast. Roughly 1 in 3 adults has a criminal record of some kind, an arrest, a misdemeanor, or worse. And when you look at how many crimes actually get solved, the 1% fantasy doesn't just crumble. It disintegrates. Because most crimes never go anywhere. Property crimes. 13% clearance, which means 87% of thieves and burglars are home free. Sexual assaults? Barely 1 in 3 cases end in an arrest, even murder. The crime you'd think society would take most seriously is solved only about 60% of the time nationwide. Compare that with other countries like Japan or Germany, where they're up in the 90s. We're barely flipping a coin. So when you actually count the people committing crimes, not just the unlucky ones in orange jumpsuits, the criminal population is way higher than 1%. But let's be generous. Let's use that neat little 1% figure because it's the conservative pushback line. And now let's take the population of Washington, D.C., about 700,000 people. 1% of that gives us 7,200 criminals in the city at any given time. That's our baseline. Enter Trump, August 2025. He sends in federal officers, National Guard troops, the whole security circus, and then tells the world he ended crime in D.C. Strong words, big claim, sounds like a movie ending, except the math doesn't agree. Over the course of the surge, the feds and the Guard racked up about 2,100 arrests, 2,100. Which sounds like a lot, until you remember our baseline was 7,200. So even using the most conservative definition possible, he only bagged less than a third. And that's assuming those are all unique arrests, which they aren't. Some people get picked up more than once. That's also assuming every arrest was a serious criminal threat, which they weren't. Many were low-level charges, immigration sweeps, or people swept up because they happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Meanwhile, while Trump was busy announcing victory, crime didn't stop. In that 30-day window, D.C. still logged 7 homicides, down from 15 the year before. Sure, but 7 murders in a month is not crime ended. It's crime rebranded. And that's the point. These numbers aren't about solving crime. They're just about selling a story. Flood the streets with troops, grab some headlines, throw a press conference, and then declare victory. It's political theater, and the people cheering don't care that the clearance rates are still abysmal, or that thousands of criminals never saw the inside of a cell. They don't care that violent crime was already trending down before the troops even landed. Because this was never about reality. It was about optics, and the optics are great, until you remember that the math exists. So here's the takeaway. Even with soldiers in the streets and federal agents rounding people up, you're still only scratching the surface. The 1% estimate is the friendliest number that Trump could hope for, and he couldn't even clear that bar. Which means when a politician tells you they ended crime, what they really mean is, they staged a photo op. But in the real world, criminals don't vanish just because the president says the show is over. Thanks for watching. See you next time.